it's Thursday. It is actually Thursday for the first time in a couple of weeks. And this week's topic is school/work. Sorry, it took me a second there. Yeah, so this is actually quite an odd topic for me to talk about. Yeah, because tomorrow is my last exam of my Leaving Cert. So it actually means that it's my last ever day of school, and next year I'll be going to college. I don't have a job either, so from tomorrow I will no longer have a school/work, which is weird. It's really weird. I got a new binder today. It's a swimming binder, so I have no problem doing this. I'm going on holidays next week, and yeah, I get to wear that and stuff, and I'm currently just wearing it in. It's really exciting. It's got a zip, which means that, yeah, I assume I'll be able to get out of it after swimming. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so school/work can be in trans for me. Right, so as I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, I went to, or go to, depending how you want to look at my situation, an all-girls Catholic school. So I wear/wore, I have to wear it one more time. I wore a skirt to school, and I was called by my birth name, and I obviously had to use girls' toilets. I had to, anything that I was taught Spanish in by using the use of feminine pronouns, feminine words. In Spanish, you can use a feminine or masculine form of a word, and I always had to use the feminine. They very much ingrained into us. They never really mentioned being gay in class. They mentioned it a couple of times, maybe once in SPHE, and the other time was last year. I was in 5th year, and I got the school to do stand-up, staying out homophobic bullying classes. And in those classes, every student in the school was taught what a couple of different words meant around LGBT. One of which was trans or transgender, and I had one of those classes. Not everyone in the school did. They tried to get everyone to have a class, but not everyone did. I did, and my class went really well. I have this feeling that they only did it for 4th, 5th, and 6th years. My school was very much like that. They only let the senior half of the school know that being gay even existed, which I found very ignorant. I mean, sure, yes, it was a school that used to be run by nuns and whatever, but I found that a very ignorant thing when the average age that people know that they are LGBT is 12. And yeah. So I came out as a lesbian in 4th year. So I was 16, and yeah, it went pretty well. No one gave me much stick at all, and I cut my hair short and stuff. So to that point, I was out all the way through. But the week of my graduation, so it was about 5 weeks ago now, I decided to come out on Facebook to everyone. So I did finish off school out. It doesn't mean that they actually changed anything. In my school, maybe if I'd come out at the start of the year, they may have changed my name. My peers might have changed the name they used by the end. Maybe. But no one, not one person in the school in my year used my name on a regular basis. They saw it as something unnatural. I like I said to someone I was a guy, and they went, "Okay, I knew that," and I was like, "Okay, what?" "Yeah, the way you dress." So obviously, being a guy is the way you dress. To that person. That person was also very homophobic at times, and she went on to say, "Wait, you're actually getting surgery? Wait, what? Like you're actually going that far?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm transgender. I'm not just a guy. I don't just I don't just have a gender expression as male. I also have a gender identity as whatever my gender identity is. That also confused a lot of people. They were like, "But aren't you just like male or female?" When I was trying to explain, like, because I was like, "Yeah, okay, so I identify as a guy, but I don't necessarily identify as male," and it really confused people. And I was just like, "Just you see me as a guy. To me, I can be whoever I want, but you've got to see me as a guy." One of the girls who I came out to a year ago, I came out to her a year ago, and she helped me choose my name. She still never used that name. So for me, school was a very isolating place. It was a place where I just didn't get recognized as my gender. I did make some progress in the school. I tried to change it. I tried to make it more gay friendly. I think I may have achieved that, and maybe I might get to go back and talk there next year, uh, from the point of view of a trans guy who's gone through the school. And I'd really like to do that in the future. And the principal seems pretty open to it. Um, but I still don't think anyone will ever come out of my school. I don't think anyone will come out. I don't think if anyone does come out, they'll get a very positive uh, experience of it from the teachers. The students might be fine, like they were in my year. My year didn't actually kick up a fuss. They didn't change anything, but they really didn't kick up a fuss. So yeah, I didn't get bullied over it or anything, but that was kind of because I was in sixth year and it was the last few weeks. But I think any of the younger guys who I know are in the school or whatever, like anybody who's going through anything like this, anything to do with exploring their gender identity, they won't get any support in the school. And I'm pretty sure that, like, I told the school chaplain, which I know is a weird thing to do. She's a nun. I didn't want to tell her. I gave a speech and I had to tell her that way. So yeah, I told my school chaplain. I told my principal. I told my vice principal. I told my religion teacher. It doesn't mean that any of them changed the name they used for me, but they did understand a bit more about trans issues because of me. My religion teacher especially, but they still all called me my birth name. And my birth name is not something I feel comfortable with people using. It was used. Like, this is me. I was out to everyone for the last month or so. But I wasn't able to go into town and see my friends who actually call me by my name. So 24/7, I was being called my birth name even though I was out. Because I get called my birth name at home, and I get called my birth name in school. So all the time, every single day, I get called my birth name. And there's days go by without me being called Sam. Days, and it's hard. Like, I'm not gonna pretend otherwise. So in a Catholic all girls school, if anyone out there is in a Catholic all girls school, you might be able to make some headway. Yeah. Um, if you're young enough realizing, I would advise you to change schools. Maybe if you're like in our system, you have two different set of exams and two different set of courses. If you can switch in the middle there, like in the transition year or whatever, uh, you'd be better off being in a mixed school or in. I don't know about an all boys school, but in a mixed school definitely, because that would mean that you have some hope of coming out, like some hope of having a situation where you're not the only guy in an all girls school, or you're not the only person going through that, or with no support in school every single day for 6 years. So an LGBT student in a Catholic all girls school, it's a hard time. It's a really really hard time. And yeah, my school wasn't horrible. It wasn't overly negative towards me, but it wasn't positive either. Right, so I've been talking for 9.5 minutes. Uh, yeah, so next week I may be making a video from holidays, which should be funny. I'm going away with my friends next week, so it should be good. And yeah, we might make a video on holidays, because Andy will be there too. Yeah, so I will see you guys next week. We'll be talking about Pride, because Pride in Ireland is actually not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So yeah. Alright, so I will see you next week. Everyone have a good week. Bye.